Looks like now. See, I think I'm live. Yeah, it looks like we're live. The red button. But then they're telling me that the Google Hangouts is going away later this year. I knew that, but whatever. But YouTube sure does make it hard to live stream. I don't know why I can't just do it real easily. But I got to download this encoder and all this other stuff. And I basically have to reteach myself how to do it every week because I forget the last time. But anyways, we're here. Second episode of the reason why I'm not looking up here at the camera is because I'm looking down here at myself, which is selfish and whatever. So I'm gonna try to look up here until I start actually doing something up here. So this is the second episode. I need to open up my YouTube channel. I need to open up the YouTube page so I can see the chat window. So let me open up that right quick like. Your channel, playing cards, make sure it's turned on. Whoa. All right. Looks like Seaborg Production says hello. What's up? It's good to see you. So I'm going to make this window a little bit closer so I don't have to strain myself to look at it. Let's see here. Pop-out chat. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I'm going to type in hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Awesome. All right, so let me just pull this over here while I'm getting ready. Thanks for being patient with me. I appreciate it. All right, we're good. That's where I want it. Awesome. Okay, so this is the second episode of the. I haven't really come up with a name with it yet, but I'm calling it the just my YouTube live sessions where I'm creating. I'm going through the entire process of creating a deck of cards from start to finish. Last week on Sunday we had the first episode. I was going to up here. Last week we had the first episode where I just did some initial sketches just to get my head wrapped around the idea and concept. And if you missed that episode last week, I encourage you to, at some point, if you want to, go take a look at it. I try to keep these sessions around an hour. I'm guessing this one will be a little bit shorter than an hour because I am exhausted. I've been out of town for since Thursday, just taking a little time off, and I am tired because my daughters have been running me ragged. But that is good, and we had a blast. And so, yeah. So, see everybody's coming on. What's up, everybody? Michael, Henry, Seaborg. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about today. And today we are going to be talking about, what's up, Darren? So this deck, if it's the first time watching this, the deck that we're creating in this series is called, at this point, the working title is Heraldry, and it's based off of the coat of arms and heraldry that were used a lot of times with family names and family crests. And I'm basing mine off of the Robinson family crest that seems to be pretty historically the traditional Robinson family crest, because obviously Google told me, and if it's on the internet, we know that it's true. So, but that's what I'm basing it on. I'll go ahead and pull up a image of that just to refresh everybody's memory on what we're doing, and that'll kind of set the stage for what we're going to be talking about today. Robinson family crest images. I'm going to share my screen so you can see this. Close that box. I want to, let's see here. I got to move my face out of the way first. All right, share screen. I want to share this screen. So this is the traditional, or what Google tells me is the Robinson family crest. And if you look at it, it has the main elements that pop up on most all of them, no matter which one I'm looking at, are these 3 stags, a green and white, a green and yellow, a green background field with a gold or yellow chevron shape. And then on the chevron are 3 like clovers. And then you have the yellow stags. And so that's just kind of what we're basing it on, this is kind of the starting point of what we're doing. And so that'll just catch you up. So, so what we're going to do today is, let me see if there's anybody asking questions. All right, good. I appreciate you saying that that's well deserved. So when I was doing the sketches, and all along for this deck of cards, I wanted to do something crazy. Well, not something crazy, just something more in-depth and complex when it came to the tuck case construction. I love tactile things, and I love working with my hands. I mean, you may know on the bottom of all of my decks, I have a scripture verse called 1 Thessalonians 4:11, and the main part of that verse is called, it says, work with your hands and mind your own business. And that's what I like to do a lot of times, is I like working with my hands. And one of those things is I like to build prototypes, whether it's from the jumbo tuck cases or regular tuck cases or wooden boxes or whatever. I like to create things with my hands. And I really wanted to do something interesting and different than I have done before with this deck. And I had the idea of doing something similar to this last year, but I just never really got around to doing it. But what it's going to be, basically the idea is to have a tuck case that is not necessarily a box that has an opening that you put the cards in. It's almost like I'll say 3 layers. 3 layers of some type that come together, and when they're all together, they completely enclose the playing cards. But there is no like lid or box top that you put in. So basically, in my head, I'll just use this tuck case. Imagine this tuck case is a deck of cards, and I'll hold it over here in the light so you can kind of see it. Basically, what I'm thinking about doing is creating 3 layers. The first layer is going to be like a belly band that goes around the middle somehow. And then you most likely will be able to see the top of the cards and the bottom of the cards. And then the second layer is going to be a bottom piece and a top piece that slide over and on top of this middle belly band, so that you've covered up the middle part of the deck of cards with this belly band. And then the top and bottom parts cover the top and bottom of the cards. So at this point, at the second level of this tuck case, all of the cards, all of the card surface area is closed and protected by these 2 parts. And then the third part is kind of like a second belly band that goes over the top and bottom part that then keeps all of that tight and enclosed. So that if you want to open it, instead of cracking a seal and popping open the top, if you want to open the deck of cards, you'll have to break some kind of seal in the front or in the back to release this belly band, that then you can take the first belly band off and then pull the top and bottom art and then pull the third one out. It's almost just like this layered tuck case. And that's kind of the idea that I've had all along, is to create this 3-layer tuck case. And I've also had an idea of incorporating, whether it's like ribbon of some sort, or not twine, but something like that, that almost serves as like a strap of some sort that keeps those together. And on top of that, why not? We can make it crazy. I also wanted to, I've always wanted to have some kind of like metal, something metal on a tuck case. And I'm even thinking about on that third belly band to die cut like a 1-inch hole and create like a 1-inch dealer coin that's very, very thin. So it's not too heavy and bulky and creates too much, you know, surface proudness. But I inset that metal coin inside that third layer, so you have this actual metal coin in the tuck case. I think it'd be, yeah. And so that's kind of the idea. And also the ribbon, why not? The ribbon in the back will be held together with something like wax or I don't know, something like that. So that's my idea. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna share my screen and open up Photoshop, and I'm basically gonna kind of talk through what I just went over, but I'm gonna do it as I'm sketching. So let me just get my computer. I've been away from my computer for like 5 days, and I didn't turn it off. And it could be buggy, but who knows? We'll see. I'm just get my brushes ready. I think I'm good. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm also, if you have a question, please ask me in the chat window, and we'll go to it. Just move this over here. All right, so I got the chat window open. So if you want to ask a question, please do. I can see it. I hope you guys can hear me. Still making sure everything's working appropriately. Reply to me if you guys can still hear me now that I'm sharing my screen. I just want to make sure that everything's good to go. All right, so let me just get ready. All right, so basically, we'll have I'm just going to draw a base tuck case that I can draw over. All right, so everybody can hear me. That's good. So this is going to be my base tuck case. I'm just going to bring the opacity down. I'm going to move it over a little bit in the center. Make it a little bit bigger. All right, I'm going to just draw another one so it's nice and crisp. Do what I say, computer. Do what I say. All right. I remember last time my computer was getting really, really slow. It's probably because my computer is 7 years old. Oh! It's probably because my computer is 7 years old that it's getting so slow. I think it's about time for me to get a new computer. Let's see here. All right, so I'm just going to draw this tuck case a little bit cleaner so I don't have the mess of lines to work with. Okay, and then I'm going to make it blue as well. What drawing pad am I using? How much RAM would I recommend for Photoshop? Well, I think even Photoshop itself recommends like at least 16 gigs, but I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure on that. My computer's 7 years old, and it's still working like a hoss. I think I have 64 gigs in this computer, if I'm not mistaken. I'm working on a Cintiq, an older Cintiq as well. Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm talking. This is what I was talking about before, and I'm just going to draw it in very simple shapes. So imagine this block that I've drawn here is the cards themselves. This is not the tuck case. This block represents the card themselves. And so the first element is going to be some type of belly band that fits around the deck of cards like this. Now, it's not going to be straight like this. It's going to be really cool and die cut, whatever. But I'm just trying to explain what's going on and what I'm trying to work through here. So this first layer is going to be a belly band, and I'll go ahead and draw the back just so we can see it, and so we can, and I'll just bring down the opacity a little bit. So this first layer is going to be a belly band that slides over the cards like that. And so this belly band will keep the cards, obviously, from, you know, sliding this way and sliding that way. So that's level 1. And then level 2 is going to be some type of belly band. Well, not belly band. This is going to be like a cap that comes in from the top and caps the top. Let me bring down the opacity of this one. So it's going to be a cap on the top, like that. And then there'll be a cap on the bottom, like this. And at this point, obviously, the tuck case, I mean, the cards themselves will be completely, I don't want to say get, they'll be completely covered. So this top part will come down and clamp on the top, or cover the top like that. And then the bottom will come up like that. And then the third piece is going to be, another type of belly band, or it might just be a front piece. And I'm even thinking it's going to be, because the 4 gigabytes, I don't think 4 gigabytes would be fine. I have some files, most of my files when they're open are like 2 gigs open. So but I'm not a computer genius. I just know how Photoshop works on my end. So the third element is what I'm thinking is going to be some type of utilization of that heraldry shield like this. Now this looks pretty lame at this point, but this is just my rough idea. So we'll have a third element that's like a belly band that fits over this top piece and this bottom piece. And on the front, I want to die cut here. You know, you'll have that yellow chevron here that comes in like this. And I want to die cut in this front part and have like this metal dealer coin that probably has maybe like an enameled coin with the green and yellow seal there that comes through that piece of paper, comes through the tuck case like that. Let me just see. Let's see. And then on the back of the tuck case, I'm gonna make this invisible. Imagine like we just flipped the tuck case around 180. And then now this is the back. And so maybe that third belly band comes in like this. And then on the back, I have 2 parts that overlap each other like this. Maybe like that. Or something like this or whatever. I don't know what shape it's going to be. And then in the middle here on the back, we have some cool, like maybe a red wax seal with like a piece of twine or a ribbon in it or something like that, because they would always put part of a wax seal would be some type of security device. And when I say security device, they would usually put like a piece of like twine, hemp twine in it that was inside the wax that went around it like that. And a few people have done that with playing cards before. And I might even use like a ribbon or something. So I'm going to take all of this off so you kind of get the idea of what we're doing. And then I'm just going to I'm going to draw it like a second layer. And I'm just going to draw some more complex shapes this time, just so that you guys can possibly get an idea and we can start thinking about what it might look like. And so obviously the basic shape of the crest is going to be this chevron in the middle, and then you've got the 3 clover leaves and then the 3 stags like that. And so I'm always thinking about that. And so in my head, I like this kind of chevron shape. And so I'm going to try to use that in this first one. Uh, I might try to make it to where you can open it without damaging the wax. I'm going to say 50-50. There's a 50-50 chance of that, because part of the thing about the wax seal is that you have to like wrap it around it, and put the twine in it. And if I do something like that where I make it to where it's like, okay, I don't want to open this because if I open it, I ruin this box. If I do something like that, I probably will have some type of display deck that comes along as part of the purchase of this edition. So anyways, so let's start out with the belly band itself, the first belly band that goes around the cards. And I'm just going to draw just a simple shape using that chevron. And maybe it's something like this. And then I don't know what's going to be on it, but I'm just going to draw those clover leaves that are on the chevron there. And then maybe it comes back like this. And this is going to be like, who knows? This will be like a green border within like a gold band itself. Maybe I could use a really cool gold paper. And so let's say that's the first belly band. And so that's how the cards stay together going laterally like this. So now we got to keep the cards from going vertically and bottom. So let's bring the opacity down on this. And let's reemphasize that chevron shape by making almost like a guillotine shaped top piece. I know a guillotine is just the diagonal, but just hang with me like that. And so maybe that top piece is like this, and then the bottom piece is the reverse fit of that. So, and then maybe the design on this tuck case mimics the belly band that's underneath. And so you have all these cool designs here. So let's say that's the second, the cap that comes from the top, and then the cap, and then the cap that comes from the bottom. Let me see if I've got any questions. Everybody's talking. That's good. I appreciate the chit chat in the comment section. That's good. And you can always do something like, we can always do a die cut in this part, if we really want to show, like, really showcase the fact that there's layers, and maybe you can see like a clover leaf from the inside. But keep in mind that this is all about to be covered up by that third layer. But a part of this layered tuck case, the cool thing about this layered tuck case is that as you're taking off these layers, I think it's interesting if there's a story that's told as you're taking off these layers. So like once you take off the first one, you can see that there's a second and a third layer. So that having a die cut here like this, let's say that it's just like, maybe it comes up like this. I don't know. I'm just making shapes here, people. Maybe it's die cut like this to where it comes up, and then maybe it comes down, mimicking what might end up being this kind of like shape that's the top and the bottom of the shield kind of a thing. Or it maybe even be, I like that idea. Let's do that. Let's just make like a smaller sized shield die cut hole in the tuck case that will be completely covered by the third layer. But at this moment, when you take off the first layer belly band, you'll be able to see this die cut hole, and then maybe there you see one of those cool cross shaped clover leaves in that die cut window. And we can have a cool border like that, and then this design can come up over that. I actually like that a lot. I think that'd be really cool. All right, so there's that. I'm really liking that. And so I'll just color it so you can kind of get an idea of what parts are what. Now, this is not the color of what it's going to be. I'm just doing this. Oops. I'm just doing this to show you the different colors of the different layers. Let me just make this a hard brush. So this is the top piece here, and it's die cut like that. Do you think you will release versions of this deck in a standard tuck case? As much as I love the layered design, I feel that I'm going to be out of budget. Yes, I will definitely release a standard edition of this, because this one is going to be, I mean, this one's going to be stupid expensive just to make. And so this bottom piece is going to be like that. So the green part is the bottom cap, and then you can see that it's die cut right here. And then the piece here, that's the, we'll say this this orange piece will be that first layer tuck case that you see from inside. So I'm gonna do this, make that invisible, come up and make this, bring this back up. I'm going to paint this orange just so we can see it. So this is the first layer. And I know probably everybody's on the same page, but I just want to make sure that even if there's new people to playing card design, I just want to make sure that it's really clear what I'm doing. And then maybe this third piece, I'm going to take this clover leaf and add it to that. I'm going to take this clover leaf, the big clover leaf that's a reveal of some sort, and add it. Yes, I know that it's empty. I'm going to take it and add it to this layer. So now you get some sort of first belly band layer that maybe looks something like this. And I need to bring the orange down as well. Let me see if there's any other questions. Let's see. Okay, so say this is the first layer, and then the top and bottom layers come in, and then you can see the two top and bottom layers there. And then let me see. All right, from there, we're going to have the third layer that is going to come on top of that and close all that together. I'm just going to create a layer on top so I can draw over the top of it without having to mess with all the noise. And so this third layer is going to be the larger kind of showpiece. I'm going to start with the actual shape of the crest or the shield or whatever we end up calling it. All right. And then let me see, what is this? So this is the beginning of the third layer that's going to close all this in. And I'm thinking about I want to use like ribbons of some sort, like gold ribbons. Because I've made a few prototype decks that have used gold ribbons, and I think it's pretty cool, and it adds a really cool tactile feel to it. And so so imagine this as being the third and final layer that goes over the top, and it's the Robinson family crest with the clovers, and then this will be stags. Those stags. That's funny. You got the stags here and their little antlers. So that's going to be the shape of that middle part. And I'm going to go ahead and paint that a different color so we can see. We'll paint that kind of red at this point. Now the way that I'm thinking about doing the ribbons, oh, I forgot about the coin. The coin, I want to put the coin in the middle. And it may be overboard, but you know what? I think these kind of family crests are very crazy and very noisy and have tons of detail. And I think and I've always wanted to do it, so I'm going to do the die cut hole right here. And obviously I'll compose these stags a little bit better once I have the die cut hole. I'll just bring them out a little bit like that. Okay. And for this, the die cut hole, I'm going to cut that pink out. And then I'm going to add a new color that represents the metal coin. We'll make the metal coin like this bright purple. And so you'll see the metal coin inset in this piece of paper coming out of the tuck case, this last third tuck case. And who knows what's on that? Maybe it's, I don't know what design will be on that, but it'll, let's say it has some kind of, you know, mimicked chevron shape or whatever, you know, whatever on that design. And then on this belly band, I wanted to utilize ribbon, some sort, ribbon or twine or something, because there's got to be something that goes around to the back that closes this off, and that ultimately on the back gets sealed with the wax seal, like the melted wax seal. And so what I'm thinking is I have the ribbon goes underneath this last shield on all four sides, almost like a present or something. This is just one initial idea. I'll just draw the ribbing that's on the ribbon, and imagine this is like gold, metallic, like with like metallic threads ribbon or something. And I'll color that a different color. We'll say that that's this green color. Like that. So all in all, since the box opens vertically, what if the outer band went around the top and the bottom? Well, it doesn't really open vertically. It kind of does open vertically, but I think that, Michael, you just asked me what I just drew, so I think that we're on the same page. So let me bring everything back up. So obviously these aren't the right colors, but this is just to show the different elements and how I'm thinking about doing it. I'm gonna make my canvas bigger like this, only so I can take all of this. Let me get rid of this over here so it's not distracting. Okay. I'm going to take all of this, group it, duplicate it. I'm going to move it over here. And I'm going to move my background, make it bigger. Let's see here. And then I'm going to quickly draw the back of what I'm thinking the back. So I'm going to get rid of that, get rid of the coin. Then I'm going to continue the ribbon. So the ribbon or twine will come down like this. I don't know how it'll come together. And this is just for demonstration purposes. It'll come down like this. And I most likely will have another, whether it's another piece of tuck case material on top of this, because I think that the crossing of these ribbons will look unfinished. And so I may have another piece that's here that covers that crossing, and I'll go ahead and make it this color as well. Bring that down to here, then bring that up. So this covers that crossing. And then on this very top, we'll have, let's say, the wax seal of some sort. And it drips down wherever. And then on this, maybe it says an R or something for Robinson. I don't know what it's going to say. This is just all conceptual at this point. And we'll make that a different color so we can see it. All right, so let me see back here. But let's see. Let me just checking some questions. All right, so this is a very, very rough idea of what I'm thinking. Now, the other option that I can see happening is me ditching the ribbon, but I want to try the ribbon because I've never done that before, and I think it would just be new and interesting, and I like new and interesting only for myself. I think that would be interesting. So I'm just going to duplicate this again, and I'm going to draw a version, just sketch a version that doesn't have the ribbon, and maybe it's a continuation of this third layer of this what's now reddish colored. Let's see here. So maybe with this version we mimic that chevron shape in this third belly band so that all of the designs work together. And maybe this does have a top and bottom part that closes. I don't know. We'll see. And so what I'm thinking here is that this part is all the same piece of die cut paper. Just bring this to the top. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's the wrong thing. I want this layer. Well, that was the top. I want this layer. Oh, I drew it on the wrong layer. Let me just do it on this layer. So maybe this is all one die cut piece like that. You know, and even, you know, maybe even to give the whole structure and engineering of the box more what's the word? More strength. And this is just the back. That's a little narrow. Maybe I have like little slits that are cut. Now, when I say slits, I mean actual holes that are cut into the paper that have design around it. So it's not just like a slit in the paper. Like it's a planned cut in the paper. And then in those, let me just draw this, finish this right quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Should have drew that on the right layer, but I didn't. I'm drawing on the wrong layer. That's all right. Let me draw that circle just so we can see it. There we go. All right, so just catching up, guys. I'm just catching up here. Finish this sketch so we can see what we're talking about. All right, so in this version, let me see what I've got here. So in this version down here on the bottom level, instead of using a ribbon right here, maybe it's just this whole piece is one. This whole red piece here is all one piece that's die cut, and then it, instead of coming together like this, maybe it comes together, you know, like a present or something, where it's got a fold there, and then on the bottom it's got a fold there, and then the side does something similar. So it's almost like a claw or something that comes around and grasps it, and it all comes to the middle. And then that's where the seal comes in like that. Now, and even on top of that, this we could, and what I was talking about the slits is we could die cut this belly band here and here, or maybe just in one like lateral direction. It might make more sense to do it here because this has that chevron shape, but have a cut here and a cut here, and then from out of this band comes the gold ribbon like that. So I still get to I get to have my cake and eat it too. I get to use the gold ribbon, and then it disappears here. Then the gold ribbon disappears in another cut, in another die cut slit in the paper. So you have just like tons and tons of these layers that make up this tuck case. I'm just going to sketch this ribbon like that, and it disappears there. And I'll color code the ribbon a little bit differently as well. So say this is a ribbon that comes out of that paper, and I don't know why I keep drawing on that layer, but I do, and I keep messing myself up. What time is it? 10:36. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's only been 36 minutes. So maybe that's a ribbon that comes out of that. Like that. Let's see. Let me read some questions here. What do I mean by die cut? Die cut just means a die is a plate that has blades on it that cuts the shape of the flat tuck case out. And a die cut means that this plate comes down and presses on the paper and cuts out the shape of the actual paper to make the box. And when I say die cut hole, that just means that there's a hole that's cut into the paper by a metal machine or a metal plate that has a blade on it. Let's see. Gary asked, you can play with the back of the shield, which can hold the band together by turning. Maybe I could. I don't necessarily want to make any kind of like complex. I'm not really sure what the word is called, but like complex. I'll say complex machines or complex motions that you have to like turn something. I don't know. I want it to be pretty simple, but I want it to look layered and complex. But I want the construction of it to be simple only because my crew are going to have to hand make all of these. So I also have to think about the fact that someone has to sit here and put these together. Just from looking at these, I know these are just very, very rough, but I like this idea better only because the overarching chevron shape is maintained in the belly band on that third layer, when on this level, when on this design, it's more of a vertical and horizontal cross, and you have this chevron in the background, and then you've got this horizontal kind of design that fights against that chevron. And I want that chevron to be in, so you'll have it on the shield, you'll have it on the belly band, you'll have it on the third thing on the end. So I want that chevron shape to go throughout. So I'm thinking I really like this idea only because you obviously can't really achieve this chevron shape with a ribbon because it just doesn't work like that. You have to specifically die cut it, because the die cut of that piece will be kind of like, it'll come down and then it'll go straight and then it'll come back up to make the bottom. So and you can't really achieve that with the ribbon. Gary says, I mean like the paper has a hole kind of like a line across it so that the back of the shield can be an oval which closes the case when you turn. Yeah, I did think of that when I was drawing this earlier. is just having different parts of it come through. I did think of that. Now there's also even there's even ways that you can like I can extend one of the bottom layers to have like a tongue that gets woven through. You know, like if you took, instead of this being a ribbon here that's blue, maybe that's part of the second layer inside that's like a secondary tongue that comes off that you weave through. And so you've got two different pieces of the paper of the tuck case coming in through each other. I mean, that could work, but that's definitely more complex. But I think it's this is what I wanted to focus on with this second episode, is just getting a grasp of the direction that I want to go with this tuck case, only because it's kind of meaningless for me to try to start drawing designs for a tuck case, a traditional style tuck case, when I'm going to have all these different shapes and stuff that I have to work around. Now, like I said before, I am going to have a standard version of this, and so it'll be more of a standard style top loading or tuck case that we'll utilize, just more of a standard. So we'll design that one. But I really wanted to kind of just conceptualize what this might look. Let me stop sharing my screen so I can talk to you people. Let me see. Where did you guys go? Let me find it. Oh, yeah. Stop sharing. Now I got to find you. There I am. Now I can see you again. So I wanted to for this session, I really wanted to conceptualize just how I was going to, what I might do with that tuck case. Because I know, because it was going to be complex and have these different parts, that the design was going to have to be much different in terms of like its composition and shape. But I'm really excited about it, because now that because I was thinking about it while I was out of town, and I didn't take a computer with me. I didn't take any paper or anything like that. And so I just had my ideas that I was thinking about. And so I thought about it a bunch of different ways. And I'm glad that this session, this episode was me thinking through that and how that's going to work. See you later, Chris. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you hanging out. So yeah, I think that's good. I think what I'll do next, on next week's, excuse me, and I may try to do another session in the middle of the week. I didn't do one this week because I was out of town this week, and I like this deck, and I want to keep it going, and so I might try to do another midweek session. What I might do next week, it may be putting the cart before the horse, but I don't care. There's nobody telling me how I can do this, and I think it's going to be fun thinking how this multi-layered tuck case is going to work. What I might do next week, for the next episode 3, is I might take those drawings that I did right there. I'll create some initial like simple shaped die cut from a standard tuck case. I'll take that standard tuck case, and then I'll create the different layers from that, and we'll actually cut them out on my little CNC machine that cuts out my prototype stuff, and you'll see that process, and we'll actually construct this little prototype box. It'll just be white paper, and we'll see if we can come up with a shape that actually does those things that we were talking about. And I think also I want to wrap the cards themselves before any belly band gets put on them in like a wax paper or a tissue paper. I don't want to have cellophane on this one because I just don't think that the cellophane, the plastic, is going to go well with the theme itself. And I may do something similar to what I did on my Independence LTD set. If you have those, you'll know that inside those, they're wrapped in wax paper and then they're enclosed in wax paper instead of cellophane. And I might do something like, just plain wax paper. There's also this paper that I really like that Neenah Paper makes. It's called Moon Dream. Sounds super bouge, but it's called Moon Dream, and it's like this white paper. But if you hot stamp it with say an embossing plate or a foiling plate with no foil, if you hit it with a hot plate and deboss it, the paper is opaque, but when you hot stamp it, the design that you hot stamp into the paper becomes translucent. And so what I might do is create this really cool patterned paper that has the family crest or the heraldry or like the clover leaves or the stags like tessellated over the entire paper like it's a wrapping paper. And then we hot stamp that to where all these stags and clover leaves, it's all white paper, but all the stags and clover leaves are translucent, so you can kind of see what's underneath through this translucent design of these clover leaves and these stags. I think it'd be really sick. And so that'll be like the fourth layer of of what it is. But I've been wanting to use this Moon Dream paper for a long time because it's super interesting, but it's very, very specific. But I think this is a good way to use it, and I think it's a good way to replace the plasticky modern feel of what cellophane is, but still get the benefit of having a sealed deck. Yes, definitely layers. Maybe we should just call this deck layers instead of heraldry, layers. So yeah, it's 10:47. I got all my information that I wanted to get in under an hour. I'll take a few questions. Maybe I could change the little clover leaves, like Gary says. Maybe I could change the clover leaves to onions because it's the layer deck. If you have any questions, I'll spend the remaining time, or as long as people would like, answering any questions that you might have about this project, and maybe what's coming up with this project. I'm also starting to think about what the court cards are going to look like. These will definitely have custom court cards with this because I want it to match the look and feel of the tuck case. So we're definitely going to get the. Ooh, so tired. I'm definitely going to get the opportunity to. You'll definitely get the opportunity to see me design custom court cards for this project. Do you guys have any questions? Jumbo tuck case for this one. I don't think I'll make a jumbo tuck case for this, only because if you've got let's just start with the very first layer. You've got the Moon Dream paper that's like the tissue wrapping paper. That's one plate and one plate and one die cut plate. Then you've got the first layer that's the belly band. So that's one printing plate and one die cutting plate. So that's 4 plates already. And then you've got the second layer, which is a printing plate and a die cutting plate. And then you've got the third layer, which is the die cutting plate and the printing plate. So right there, you already have 8 plates that we have to 8 plates that we have to buy. And I say we because we have to buy it, because I've got to pay for it. I've got to pay for the production, and you guys have got to pay for the production via the retail price of what this is going to be. And so just right there, the 8 plates. And so I would have to have duplicate 8 plates that are jumbo size to make a jumbo tuck case of this. Now that doesn't mean that I might not make one or 2 jumbo tuck cases myself, but it's not going to have. It'll be printed on my professional inkjet, not letter pressed with hot foil and stuff like that. So I doubt it. I mean, the chances of me making a jumbo tuck case of this are 0.00000. 0.002%. Let's see. What's the expected cost of the deck? I have no idea. I have no idea what the cost of the deck. Because, I mean, every layer, see you, Matt. Thanks for coming. Every layer of this is like printing one regular tuck case. And so, and then on top of that, you've got a wax seal and a metal coin. I have no idea. There's no idea for me to tell what the price will be on this. It will be expensive for sure. But like I said, there'll be another version that's a standard version that's more of a traditional one tuck case type thing. But this this version that we're doing, that we're going over the top with, I mean, it's totally an experiment, because I've been wanting to do these types of things, and I think it's interesting to do these types of things. It creates good content for these video sessions for me to do these crazy things, because it's interesting and it's something different and something new. Whether or not anybody buys them, I don't know, but I'm going to make them no matter what, because I want to do that. All right. So, yeah, any more questions? Good questions. Good questions. I'm just looking at this screen because that's where my questions are coming from. Well, I appreciate that, Gary. Let's come back. Let's circle back when I'm finished with it and see if you still think it's a good, if you think it's a great tuck case design. I've seen some good tuck case designs for sure. I'm really excited about that Moondream paper. And it's funny because it's going to be the very, it'll never be seen. It'll never be seen because it's on the very bottom. Maybe I'll print some extra Moondream paper with that tessellation and use it as like wrapping paper or something. Mount Foolish asks, will sub emails go out this week? Yes, they will go out this week. I know that today is the 16th, and I said that the new sub slots will be opened up after the 15th. So those are going to be going out this week. Nick and I will meet on that together tomorrow when we kind of lay out the week, but they will go out this week. Let's see here. But I don't want to answer too many questions about that, because 5 years from now, when people are watching this, I don't want to talk about anything that's time sensitive, because it'll be really it won't be very relative to them 5 years from now, when the actual process of the deck of cards that we're designing will be relevant. Let's see. Do I have any Moondream paper with me? Yeah, I think I do, but it would be very hard for me to show you over my crappy web camera what it does. I can show you. Let me see here. I know there's a Neenah. Let me see. I can put a link in the chat of Neenah paper, of an example of their Moondream paper. All right, so I'm going to put this link in the chat window. This is so if you click on that link, that is a link to that's a design that was made on the Moondream paper. And so everything on that, there's no ink, no anything. It's all a design that's hot pressed into. I can share my screen. What am I talking about? I can just share my screen so I don't have to go to the link. So this is, so you can kind of see that this is all white paper. And then the hot stamp design is kind of translucent right through there. So yeah, that's that Moondream paper. Let's see. Marco asks, how long does it usually take you from an idea to finished product? This is an exception. This deck of cards is an exception only because obviously I want to create this ongoing YouTube series. and also because it's also an exception because this whole tuck case thing is going to be very complex. But as a rule, if it's just like a regular deck of cards, most 99% of all my decks of cards from start to finish usually take, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks tops to go from start to finish, only because I am very easily distracted, and I lose inspiration very, very quickly. And if I lose inspiration on a project that I'm working on, I might as well quit on it because I get so bogged down because I'm not interested in it anymore that it becomes a job of me having to finish it. So I like to try to finish things within a 2 to 3 week period, because I've found doing illustration for 2 decades. I've found that that's kind of the time window that I stay focused and inspired on something. And so I try to get it finished within 2 to 3 weeks. But this is a little bit different because, as long as people are watching this and engaging in the process, I think that is going to be what is interesting to me and inspiring to me, is going along through this kind of design process with people. That I think that it'll help me kind of bridge that kind of like 2 or 3 week process. But I think that in the end, if you took the time that I do this web series, it'll probably end up being 2 or 3 weeks, most likely. Let's see here. I got bit on the hand while I was on vacation with this huge horsefly, and it's my left hand. I draw with my left hand, but my whole hand is like, you can kind of see, it's like just swollen. Look at that. See, look at the difference. It's just like, it hurts. Let's see. That's what I've been scratching the whole time. You can see it right there. Right there. Bam. Let's see. Let's see if there's any more questions. I got about 3 more minutes before my set hour time limit is over. But these are great questions. That Moondream paper is very, very cool, and I can't wait to use it. Let's see. I think it seems like that's about it. I don't see any more questions. Let me just make sure. All right. So just to recap, I'll share my screen again. Have you decided who the printer will be? No, I haven't really decided who the printer will be. I like both USB-C and EPCC. I haven't decided who the printer is going to be. My first Cartamundi is not really in my head right now, only because I'm still waiting on my first deck of cards that I've printed with Cartamundi to come. And so I'm not really thinking about Cartamundi at this point. That may change when I get my Invocation deck back from them. Maybe it's awesome. I don't know. But right now I'm not really thinking about who the printer is, because I know how that part of the process works. The fun part is the design and creating these weird tuck cases and stuff. So when do I think I'm gonna stream next? I might try to do it. I know I'm gonna do it on Sunday night. I'm gonna try to make it a regular thing on Sunday nights around 9:30ish, because that's when I go. That's when I go on Sunday night. So around 9:30ish on Sunday nights, and then I may try to do it on Tuesday or Thursday night. I'm not sure which one. I might try to do that midweek stream on Tuesday or Thursday night. We'll just see how it goes. Let's see. The merge is going to make all communication slow. The merge is only making communication slow on the Cartamundi side. My communications on the USPC side is the best it has ever been. I get responses within hours, and my deck of cards is already finished and in my hands. So my Invocation USB-C deck that I put in the artwork at the same time that I did Cartamundi is already in my hands and finished. And they just started production on Cartamundi. So let's see here. Will they be available to pre-order this year if all goes well with the progress of this series? Ship this year again? I don't see. I'm trying to remember what my initial idea for this series was. Let's say I'm just working back. Say I have these decks for, I don't know. If I got them for Black Friday, I would have to have them finished by, I would have to have the cards and the tuck case, all that stuff, all that artwork finished, like, what's November, the end of November. That's the end of October. I don't think so. End of August. I don't think it's going to be really feasible for me to get these, say, like by Black Friday, only because there's a lot of work that's going to be in this deck, because I'm going to do a fully new custom set of court cards, and this tuck case is going to take a lot of work. So I could foresee this coming out early next year, maybe around February, like around my birthday and also King's Wild's birthday, around February of next year. So yeah, because I've got a lot of stuff I got to finish for this year too. So on top of this, and this deck is literally me doing this in my spare time. So let's see here. All right, I'm gonna take, it's 1 hour. All right, so I think that's about it. So just to recap, we went over, we kind of flushed out the initial idea for the different layers of the tuck case. And we kind of got the ideas of what we're going to do. And so the next episode, which maybe will be on Tuesday or Thursday, I'm not sure yet, I'm going to try to take these rough sketches and make them a physical pieces of paper that we cut out on my CNC machine, and see if we can't get something that works and that we can put together. And so that'll be the next episode. And then once I have that basic shape that kind of works, what we can do from there is then refine. We don't have to like refine the die cut shape exactly, because a lot of that's going to be informed by the actual design that I do for that part. But once I get the basic parts, I'll have the die cut shape that then I can now design onto, and then we can start with that. And I don't know, we may do that next after this midweek one, or I may go back to like the back design or something, because as I'm thinking about this, I'm getting more ideas, and we may go back to back design. I may jump all over the place with this, but that's only because that's the way I work with this type of stuff. Yeah. So once again, I appreciate you guys joining me again for the second episode. Please, for sure, I'm going to be back on next Sunday night around the same time. So be sure to join us next Sunday night for episode 3. I'm going to try to do a midweek episode this week, either on Tuesday or Thursday night. What was I going to say? So maybe Tuesday or Thursday night I do a midweek episode, but for sure on Sunday night. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your night to come and join me. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers, and I will see you guys later. Yep. Have a good night.